Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Overanalysis. In this series, I'm going to be watching the best games played in Vail Virtual Reality Master League, giving a breakdown of the strategies in use, reacting to the best plays, and hopefully teaching you something about Vail that you didn't already know. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the first match of the EU VRML finals, IVI against Aesir EU. Now, quite a few people, including myself, thought that Ivy had a chance to dethrone Acer in this series, and we're about to watch an exciting game of Veil with some great strategy in play. Let's see how map 1 went. We're going to start off in the pistol round with Ivy running a contact play up A long here. If you check up in the mini map, you'll see they have 1 in upper tunnels, 4 towards long, and they're just going to be silent walking out. What a contact play is basically you just walk out, you don't make any noise until you get seen. Once the opponent sees you, you explode as follows. Now we're going to see Yakuza landing a really good nade on these long players here. And then Yakuza does something really important. He is going to delay on A long here while Ivy are throwing all of their util. Then he is going to throw his smoke on long. What is important about that is it just gives them a bit of a timing where that sandwich smoke that Yakuza just threw is going to stay while Ivy smokes are up. So it's actually going to fade a few seconds before they fade, but it's a much better timing than if he had a smoke as soon as he naded. Then the next important thing to check is the player that was Duke. You can see he's moved slightly towards site and he's not directly fighting into A main until his ramp player gets up and can help him. Then they're going to double fight the entry that's coming out of A main. Really good defensive round here. Yakuza comes in through his smoke that he threw earlier. You see it's going to fade in a few seconds here. So like I said before, just in terms of that timing, it was really important just that he delayed his smoke by a few seconds and also delayed Ivy by a few seconds in order to let his rotators arrive on ramp and help fight on Duke. Let's skip by the replay here real fast for round 2. Ivy are going to go into a 2-1-2 setup. They make a lot of noise lower tunnels here. Goodwin definitely gets heard by this guy on ramp, so you can imagine Acer's comms there is noise towards A. There's no pressure on Scaff, no pressure on Catwalk, and the long players aren't making any noise either. It seems like Ivy just want to wait for Acer to take some map control and try to catch them off guard, but Acer are playing very far back right now. What Ivy really want is to try and catch out this Rocket player right now, but they aren't giving any noise or util to bait him out. So I was quite surprised. Pan actually is going to peek out here and make a bit of noise in a second when the camera switches to Cray now. Cray's going to react to this noise and he just lurks out pretty quietly. He's trying to see if he can get a peek onto Pan, but he can't. Pan's heard those footsteps definitely, so they're going to commit to faking B now. You can see their players setting up towards middle. The scary thing here would be if they tried to wrap A instantly and ran into the 3 Acer players that are rotating slowly, but I assume they heard their footsteps on ramp. You can see them go into upper tunnels. One of the Acer players is going to be getting aggressive there, looking to get some map control, but Ivy are going to win that gunfight. Fraz is also going to get out and get a huge pick on underpass here. This is really important. The scary thing is, though, he is getting flanked from Catwalk, and T is pretty out of position on B long right now. He had enough time to drop back and help Fraza from mid, but instead he's going to be trying to come with a late B long lurk here. If he dies, it's going to leave Goblin in quite a rough 1v2 retake scenario. Let's see. T is going to come in for the flank, and we see him get picked by Dutch, leaving Goblin in this 1v2. Now, to be fair, 1v2 situation, backside of Suna A, this is the ideal site. This is what you want. This is a very strong spot for Goblin to be in. But of course, you would have preferred to be in a 2v2 with 2 players backside. Goblin's going to come round. He's going to get one. He doesn't know the second player is there. And then he sees him, spots him, comes around, and picks up the second frag. A huge round, huge clutch from Goblin after a slight misplay in the middle of the map by isolating Fraza and just forcing him to be relied on to defend against 2, 3 rotating players while T waits to try and get off his lurk. Let's see, is there anything else I have in my notes here? Yeah, just I said my mid-rank call there definitely would have been to have T drop back and help me in mid. Here in round 3, we're going to see Ivy splitting it into another 2-1-2 default. Again, they're looking for contact over towards B long. This time they've also got Scanner over towards B. Again, we're going to see some really good scaff pressure coming in from Goblin in a second here. So B just makes quite a lot of noise, and you can see Goblin sneaking his way up through lower tunnels. While this B noise is going in, we can see number 2 there on the Aesir side, top left of the map, did consider rotating, but he ends up dropping back off. He keeps looking down towards Scaff. So this B pressure is definitely potentially drawing in rotations. It just hasn't pulled any yet. So Goblin is going to look. He hasn't heard any noise from rotators yet. He's going to see if he can get a peek out onto a Scaff player, and he does. Really, really big pick for Ivy right there, bringing this into what I believe is a 4v4 situation. Yeah, 4v4. They're going to go for a B split after this. I was quite worried they were going to go for another A wrap, but they make a good call here and they go for a split push on the B. Just give them a second. They're going to come up, take this gunfight, die, good refrag, good double swing. I'm glad they didn't go for a one-man catwalk push there and instead go for a two-man catwalk push. Another important thing to note is they made blah blah blah. They made first contact on catwalk there rather than sending out the B long player with the scanner first. That way, the second player on B site, the second defender, is already turned around looking catwalk when the long player comes out. He doesn't realize there's going to be a push from long there. Ivy have conditioned Aesir in knowing that they're running defaults and give a little bit of noise A at the start. Goblin made his usual footsteps in lower tunnels. So this means there isn't instantaneous rotations. Acer are a bit scared to rotate right now, meaning that when Ivy run that split, they can get into a really good 4v2 push just straight on the site right away. They don't have to worry about having a numbers situation where they're running into a stacked site. They can just come in, get their refrags, win the round. Pure, simple, fundamental attack FPS. Another really nice default from Ivy that round. Round 4 here, similar to the pistol round, we're going to see Ivy coming into a contact play on A long again. They're going to look for a full smoke execute after they make contact. So you can see they're just crouching up. Acer are running their usual 2-1-2 setup. They've got a bit of info, definitely. You can see number 4 there, I believe that is, who is jiggle peeking out long and not seeing anything. So I'm quite surprised that 1 hasn't started making his way over up ramp yet. Very, very slow on the contact play from Ivy here. I think they're quite worried about another nade potentially, but they're going to get the refrag, and this is where the site explosion comes in. Full execute, full nades. One of the worrying things about this play that I don't really like, you can see there Goblin comes out of A main by himself, which gives Taz a chance to get into the back lines on Duke. So it's going to be really hard for Ivy to get across and get a bomb plant here because they have to worry about fights in front of them, have to worry about fights from Duke. Personally, if I was sorry, personally, if I was calling this round, um, I would probably have 3 players contacting up B long, and then 1 player coming out of main. Or no, sorry, 3 players contacting up A long, and then 2 players coming out of main, rather than forcing Goblin to have to win that gunfight. Because if he loses his 1v1 on Duke, then you're going to be in a serious, serious problem. If you really wanted to commit to sending 4 players long, then I would just have a flash coming over the top of long, popping above Duke right before Goblin comes out, rather than instead where he has to sort of just swing out dry and win a gunfight, win a 50-50 gunfight on Duke. And what we saw there was he swung out and timing wasn't on his side. He got peeked while he was crossing, gets dropped, and that just gave Taz a great chance to stay alive and screw around in Ivy's backline. I'm going to skip past this. Okay, there we go. They're going to finish up the round. Very nice. So yeah, if I'm calling that, I want either a flash coming over the top or I want 2 players coming out of main, ideally, getting a double swing on the Duke. That would be my ideal situation, especially since we're not having anyone fake towards B anyways. I just feel like 4 players on long is a waste. Round 5 here, Ivy are going to come in with their default 2-1-2 again. They're going to run slightly more passive on the B side with Scanner over there, and you can see them just going towards Scaff, looking for their usual mid control. It seems like Aesir are ready for this now. They have one set up top ramp. Just very quiet. Looks like Ivy are sitting and waiting. We're gonna see them going for a contact here in Scaff any second now. Could be going for a rapid with that smoke. That's what I would be expecting. Really good peek from Yakuza. Great refrag from Goodwin. That's really, really important. That's why we have two players in Scaff there. The reason Ivy have two players in Scaff there is so that if there is a fight, it's a 2v1. It's not a 1v1. Really good job to isolate that 1v1, or 2v1, sorry, because you can see the Acer did have the top ramp player set up, ready to help if that happened. Now, Ivy are going to go into their 2-2 B split by the looks of things. No, okay. Yes, I remember this round. Let me drop back and I will show you exactly what happened because I really like this round. And then this happens up in A tunnels, upper tunnels, that I really hate. We just missed it because I was busy yapping about these two players in mid. So you can see right here, we're going to come out. We're going to swing the Scaff player, die. Goodwin gets a really good refrag. Right away, I'm calling. Last time we were in a 4v4, we run a 2-2 split onto B. There was only two players there. They aren't rotating fast. Now, every round that Ivy have played so far, they have seen that Acer don't rotate fast. So I'm going to have my two players come catwalk again, as has worked every time so far. Catwalk is going to contact first. Long is going to come out slightly late. We're going to pinch the site players, and then the other two players are going to be late on the rotates. We play refrags, we win the round. Instead, what happens is Ivy go for a lurk out of A main. And this lurk's going to take second contact. First contact's going to be made on B long. And I think they assume the Acer are going to go for an instant rotate, just fucking send it and run out. But Acer do not. And so this lurk comes out and just instantly dies. Give it a second here. If you just watch the minimap, you can see the lurk's starting to come out of A main now. I hate that play. They could have just run their 2-2 split. It would have been perfect. Instead, they don't. So we see they're going to go for a 3v2 push on the B here. This is still winnable, but Pan's going to pick up a kill on T. There's not going to be a refrag. Goodwin's going to go down as well, and that is that round over in a matter of seconds. Very well played from Acer there, very well held. Didn't fall for anything from Ivy. I wish Ivy didn't go for the lurk and had just went for a 2-2 split on the B there. I think that we could have seen a much better result from the guys. Let's see, round 6. Ivy are going to go into a bread and butter B split here. This is a tactic that they run all the time. They're very used to this. They're very comfortable with this, and it shows in this round. There's going to be a pretty standard push on B long, but what I believe to be a deliberate anti-strat to how Dutch likes to play catwalk in this spot right here. So you can see they're going to flash Dutch, forcing him to go into a tuck here, and then once he tucks in, Goodwin's going to drop a nade over the top, blows Dutch up. Really, really nice. I have a play just like that in my strat book, believe it or not. This is just a bread and butter perfect B split executed by Ivy with a little bit of prior knowledge to how Dutchman likes to play catwalk and a little bit of utility pre-planning to finish off the round. Goodwin, Fraza, if you're watching this video and you see this part, let me know. Was that pre-planned with Dutchman or was that just a dynamic nade just thrown in the middle of a round? Okay, for round 7, we can see Ivy bringing scan towards A here. In my notes, I have it wrote down, yeah, Ivy are going to fake a B split with 3 players going quiet towards B long, or A long, sorry. You can see right away here that Acer are scared of another B rush. As soon as this util starts getting thrown, Taz starts jiggling here. He seems really worried. My guess is he's probably calming. Util B, I got picked by one. Nade over B, nade over B. So you can imagine Acer comms here, they're really expecting a B push, and the rotations prove that. As soon as Fraza gets the pick and dies here, though, as IGL, I am calling. that we need to be sending it up along fast. And you can see that Ivy just play really slow, really delayed here. Watch what happens. You're going to see Cray drop off from B long to mid this time. Much preferred over the B long lurk that T did last time. But again, Ivy just coming really, really slow on this contact play, which gives Aesir a lot of time to reset here. They're going to get knowledge that no one's mid by taking Catwalk. They get a pick on Catwalk as well. They've also rotated one over towards Scaff. So by the time Ivy are starting to start their execute, this means the Scaff player's already pushed up towards Duke. Acer's also already taking a main, so if you kill the Duke player, you're going to have the A main player to worry about in about 3 seconds from now. Just overall, Ivy feel like they were too hesitant here, too slow and unwilling to make a call. Everything went really well with the fake. You can see Acer fell for the fake so hard. Everything was great. And then everyone crouches. Acer make the great call to aggress catwalk, look for information. Once everything goes quiet, you don't want to just sit back and wait to get executed on. You want to get info, figure out what's going on, which they do. They get a pick off that, but even if they don't get a pick, they know it's A. They're already rotating A. They're already there to stop this. The fake has failed at that point already. So really nice round from Acer. Really, really good read. Um, Ivy really should have just went a bit faster, to be honest, when Fraza got the pick B long. As soon as I get that pick B long, and I know that players are starting to rotate in because I've been throwing util for more than 15 seconds, I'm screaming, let's explode A, guys. Let's explode long. So round 8, Ivy are going to come in with another one of their bread and butter B long takes here. Again, they've conditioned Acer enough that these pushes aren't instantly rotated on too hard. So they manage to get a pick, then rotations start to come in. By here, Ivy have enough time to get the cross smokes down and get across onto site. Very, very nice B take overall. Simple, fundamental TAC FPS play. They're just going to come in together, get their refrags, use their utility to cut off the choke points, let themselves cross for free. Overall 3v1. What doesn't stand a chance. Gets one pick. I'd be slightly worried that my other player's an underpass right now, but Bleach gets the pick, cleans it up 4-4. Round 9 here. Acer are going to be looking for a B split. So they take Scan into long, and they're going to have quite a delayed push overall. This is going to be a pattern that we see throughout most of the game, to be honest. Acer seem to like to take things very slow on B long, a very slow, methodical map control. They don't seem to be scared to get rotated on. They're happy enough just to take gunfights and believe that they'll win them. So you can see Ivy kind of solo swing out cat, solo and T solo swings out long at the same time here. Both whose players are going to go down, and as soon as Acer have the man advantage, they're going to drop their actual execute util and send their players in. This is going to be a pattern that we see over and over again from Acer throughout the entirety of this game. Check the next round out, and we're going to see another super slow B split, like I said. They don't get much action over at B, but they are going to play mid quite well if you keep an eye here. So they come up, they take right side of catwalk so that they can't be seen from a scaffolding player, and they're just going to contact walk up cat slowly here while their B long players delay. They also have a player holding in spawn for some reason. I'm guessing he is just watching for anyone who goes fast out of A main. You can also see Acer start to rotate off here after they get their picks. My guess from my pre-game notes here, sorry, from pre-recording this, is that Acer heard footsteps on ramp and heard these rotations. And so they decide, okay, let's just back off. Let's just back off and go away. You can see they have Dutch crouched in this corner in mid, and his primary job here is actually just to hear footsteps from the B players. So he can let his team know, okay, there's rotators. You can see here's the steps. He's going to come out, harass the rotator. He actually manages to get a pick on him. Really, really good play from Dutch. But even if Dutch doesn't get those kills there, just the important thing to notice is how much Acer play on info and how well they play on info. So they're happy to play slow on B long like this. They're happy to take their time because they have mid control. And while they have mid control, they can hear footsteps, and if the opponents want to full rotate, that's fine. Aesir can rotate. If the opponents don't want to full rotate, that's fine. Aesir are mechanically sound enough and happy enough to sit there on B long, stall out the round, and gunfight you in man advantage situations. So round 11, we're going to see the same again from Aesir. And Fraza just swings mid slightly too early there if you check the minimap. Goblin comes in and manages to get a refrag. Did he manage to get a refrag? Let me double check. Yeah, he did. But if they had been fighting that together, there's a real good chance that either Fraza lives or they get two, they keep mid control. Instead, they just went a bit too aggro, but I do like that they're trying to do a switch up. They're trying to interrupt Acer's gameplay here. They're not just letting Acer do what they want. Because before, Ivy were sitting very far back. They were sort of letting Acer play the map the way they like to play the map and trying to win angels, which is a way to win a round, yes. Is it a way to win most of your rounds? No. And you're going to see that throughout this VOD. So one very important thing is going to be proactive play, but not just proactive play, proactive team play. So yes, it's great that Fraza took initiative and tried to push mid there, but if he had just delayed by 3 seconds to wait for Goblin to get up to 90 on catwalk and help him, that could have been a completely different round. Instead, it just ends with Acer getting their usual map control, exactly how they wanted, and finishing on B site. We're going to skip forward here and just go to the next round. Oh my life, no we're not, because this is the insane Goblin clutch. I lie. This does not end with Acer getting B-site. This should have ended with Acer getting B-site. We're going to see Taz pick up T, and they're going to start pushing in on B long, leaving Goblin all alone with 3 players coming towards him. We're going to see Fraza pick up one of them, Cray pick up one of them while they're crossing, and Goblin left in a 2v1 situation on site. He's going to pick up one and turn around on a 180, picking up the second with a headshot and a flick on B site. Insane round from Goblin, but not something that you want to be relying on. Okay? There's a saying that you can rely on talented players to come out and make plays like this once a game. Okay? You can't rely on them to do this every round. You can't rely on them to do this once a round. Okay? It's just not reasonable. And so if you're making plays consistently where you have to multi-frag to win, then you're making bad plays. Put simply. Round 12, we're going to see the same B split from Acer. This time IFV are trying to do a passive stack on B site with 3 players to try and counter this, but again, Acer are going to manage to refrag their way to victory here. The important thing to remember about these games is that if attackers can get onto a site with a numbers advantage, then defenders need to either use bait and switch setups, crossfires, or just simple utility like flashes and smokes and nades to swing the advantage back in their favor. Simply standing in spots and hoping you're going to out-aim the opponent can work sometimes, but overall the percentage chance of you 3v4 or 3v5 defending a site is going to be really low. We can see when Acer are executed here, Ivy might be stacked on B, but they aren't peeking together, they aren't throwing util together, and so Acer just comes out, takes gunfights where they have a man advantage, refrags if someone dies, and then win the round. Simple, fundamental, TAC FPS. Nothing more to it, nothing complicated. Round 13, we're going to come in again here, and we're going to see the exact same setup from Acer. We're going to see Ivy going more passive in mid and rotating again into a 3-man B setup in a second. So Acer just come in, they're throwing their usual utility, which is going to bait in that rotate towards B. They can hear this from Catwalk 100%. As we know, they like to play off that noise, but they haven't heard enough rotators to scare them out of going B, so they're going to come in and they're going to commit for this. Now, once they get this Catwalk pick, sorry, not a Catwalk pick, once they get a Graffiti pick, we can see Fraza left alone towards backside, okay? Fraza wide swung out of backside, and again, Acer just able to isolate the gunfights. If Graffiti had been somewhere like up towards sandbags, or even Rocket baiting for Fraza, just anything where they can play together so that when one player gets shot, the other player can shoot back. That's what Ivy needed to set up on this defensive half. And unfortunately, they just never got into the swing of that. They never seemed to break down how to beat this Acer setup that's coming in. I mean, another option would be just committing more to your mid gun fights. Um, Acer are using mid to listen for rotations, know when they should rotate back to A, know when they can commit to B. They're using it so that they can play slower on catwalk, make sure they don't get flanked from long, which allows them to play slower on long. So a lot of their play here relies on that mid control, and we just don't seem to be trying to break it. Um, Again, Ivy are gonna actually just give Acer mid completely in this round, but Acer are gonna use that and just contact walk up catwalk straight into Goblin's face here. There's no way he's suspecting this. I just wish that maybe Ivy had aggro catwalk and Scaff at the same time here. And Fraza could be fast flanking Mott right now, or killing the guards player and fast flanking Long right now. Instead, again, Acer are going to be able to refrag their way, getting onto site, and finish off the round once again. Really good patience from Acer though. So you can see right away here, one thing to note, they're not going to go instantaneously. They waited for their garage player to be able to help them. Because obviously their catwalk player died, right? So Acer don't want to go here when they could split push and mess up their split push. So they wait, catwalk player arrives, and now the long players go. I really, really like that detail. Just when I was watching the round, you can see the noise Yakuza made him tuck. He tucked in, allows the players to cross for free. A lovely round from Acer. Really impressive. That's going to finish the game. I didn't even realize that was last round. 9-5. Acer take Suna. You can see from chat here down in the bottom, people were not expecting this. Some people were quite surprised, actually. Um, some people obviously knew Acer were going to win. It's Acer. They haven't really been losing. But overall, I thought that was a really cool game to watch. Really interesting. I actually took some things that I definitely think I learned from that I want to try implementing into my own gameplay with my team. I hope you learned something as well. If you have any questions or any other games that you'd really like to see me cover next, just let me know. Thanks for watching.